Hello everyone, welcome back. In our last grammar video, we had started the chapter, the sentence. So we will be continuing that chapter and let us now look at part 2. Now, earlier we had discussed about the types of sentences which were classified based on function. So, let us just go through it once. We know already that there are four types of sentences based on function: declarative, imperative, interrogative, and exclamatory. The fifth one is optative. So, what is the meaning of optative? Optative means to express a wish or a prayer. So, let us come to the definition. When a sentence expresses a wish or a prayer, it is called may you succeed in life. So, when we are praying, when we are wishing something, when we wish for something, uh, it's our desire which we want to be fulfilled. Those types of sentences which we use in order to express those wishes or prayers, it is known as optative sentences. So, may you succeed in life means I want you to succeed in life. Okay. So, may we return from our mission successful. So, this is my wish. I pray that all these things happen. I wish I was tall enough to play basketball. So, this is a desire which I want to be fulfilled. So, the fifth type of sentence is optative, which expresses a wish or a prayer. Next, we come to affirmative and negative sentences. Now, children, declarative, imperative, interrogative sentences can either be affirmative, that is positive, or they may be negative. First, let us understand what is the meaning of the word affirmative. The definition of affirmative is agreeing with someone or something. That is, we are saying yes to something. We agree when somebody asks us or tells us something. So, an example of an affirmative action is nodding your head in agreement with a friend's statement. Say, suppose your friend asks you, will you have an ice cream? And you nod your head saying yes. So, that is a yes action. You want that ice cream, and the action which you are doing by nodding your head to your friend is an affirmative action. Affirmative means a positive answer. So, an example of an affirmative statement is answering a question with the word yes. So, if I say, do you like to play cricket? And if you say yes, then your answer is affirmative or it is positive. You agree that you like to play cricket. Affirmative is defined as something that confirms the truth, something which is true. Okay, so the sun rises in the east. That is, if I agree with the statement, obviously we have to agree with the statement because it's the truth. So, thus, affirmative sentence means a positive sentence asserting that something is true or correct. So, if I say the flight is delayed, so my sentence is a declarative sentence. It is declaring the status of the flight, and it is a positive statement where we agree and it is true that the flight is delayed. Please put your shoes on. It's please means it's a request, it's an imperative sentence, and please put your shoes on is an imperative affirmative sentence. Have you booked your train tickets for the holiday? It is an interrogative affirmative sentence which tells us that, which is rather it is asking us a question. Okay, and the statement by which the question is asked is a positive statement. So affirmative sentence is something which agrees with the truth, which states something that is correct. On the other hand, negative sentence. See, children, I have marked negative sentence with the red colored slide in order to tell you that the opposite of positive is negative. So the opposite of yes will obviously be no. And sometimes when we, you know, when something is not correct, we generally mark it with red. So that is why, in order to explain you better, I just used the red colored slide. So those sentences that state something is incorrect or not true are termed as negative sentences. So, something which is false, something which is not true, something which is incorrect, wrong, okay, those sentences which state these facts which are incorrect, which are not true, these are called negative sentences. They usually contain words like no, not, never, don't, won't, nobody. So, words which generally are negative, these words no, not, never, these are negative words. Okay, so in sentences, if you find these no, not, never words, then remember that sentence will be a negative sentence. For example, the flight is not on time. Now, earlier, remember, we had seen in the declarative sentence the flight is delayed. Over here, I am replacing the word delayed with not on time. So, I am making the positive statement into a negative one by including the word not. That is why this is also a declarative sentence. It is declaring that the flight is not on time, that is, it will not leave on the usual schedule which it was following. So, this changes from a declarative affirmative to a declarative negative sentence. Why? Because I have included the word not in it. Similarly, don't go around barefoot. That is, please, you have to wear your shoes. You can't go around naked foot. Haven't you booked your tickets for the holiday? Interrogative, negative. See, I have included haven't. That is, have you not? So, these contractions don't, won't, can't, couldn't, wouldn't, haven't, hadn't, didn't. These words, even if they come in a particular sentence, they will also be termed as negative sentences. Kinds of interrogative sentences. So, earlier we have learnt that interrogative sentences are those sentences which ask us questions. So, what are the various types of questions which we can come across? So, we have yes no questions with modal auxiliaries, WH questions, alternative questions, and tag questions. What are yes no questions? These questions expect the listener to answer with a yes or a no. So if I ask you, did you lock the door when you left? You may answer yes or you may answer no. It does not want you to answer, give details, okay, details regarding the answer. Just reply by saying a yes or a no. Was your best friend present today? Again, the answer could be yes or no. Do you like to play volleyball? Again, the answer could be a yes or a no. So, yes no questions generally have yes or a no for the answer to the question that is being asked. Those types of questions are called yes no questions. Yes no questions with modal auxiliaries. So, this is a little deeper that we are going to study. Depending upon the situation, questions may begin with modal auxiliaries. So, examples just to see over here. So, what do we use modal auxiliaries for? Number one, we use it to seek permission or advice. So, if I say, may I leave now? Should she go to the doctor? So, this is the first sentence, may I leave now, is an example of asking for permission. So, you have over here seen that we are using the modal auxiliary may. When we see the second sentence, should she go to the doctor, we have used should over here, which is again used as a modal auxiliary for asking for an advice. So, may I leave now can have the answer as a yes or a no. Should she go to the doctor can also have an answer as a yes or a no. So, the point that I am trying to make here is when we have questions that begin with modal auxiliaries like may, should, can, could, must, would, all these words, then also we can make modal auxiliary I'm sorry, and then also we can make questions, and those questions may also have a yes or a no for an answer. So when you request for permission, for example, could you tell me the way to the post office, you are actually asking somebody to give you information regarding post office. So could again is a modal auxiliary, and the answer could be yes or a no. Must I do the homework right now? So it is a question which states the necessity of something, that is it necessary to do the homework right now. That is what the modal auxiliary must shows. So yes no questions with modal auxiliaries may, should, could, must, a few examples which can also have yes or no for an answer. WH questions, I think this is by far the easiest. These questions expect the listener to answer by providing details or specific information. So, words like who, what, where, which, when, whose, why, these words are used. These are called WH words. And when you ask a particular question using one of these words, then you are actually asking the listener to provide you some details. For example, which is the shortest route to the central railway station? Now, a person to whom you ask this question, he probably cannot answer this question with a yes or a no. He has to give you the details that take the straight road and then turn left and then turn right, like that. Okay, so he has to probably give you a few details regarding the location of the railway station. Similarly, what did you have for lunch today? So if I ask you, would you say yes or would you say no? No, right? So you would say that I had roti and sabzi, or maybe you would say I had rice and curd, right? So when we ask WH questions, we expect the listener to answer us in detail, right? Again, see the last question, who came to meet them last night? This is again asking about the people who had come, asking for details of those people. Alternative question, now alternate means either this or that. We already can understand by the name of the type of question. So these questions require the listener to convey his or her choice of option when answering. The options are included in the question itself. Okay. So for example, do you want a bicycle or binoculars for your birthday? So your father asks you on your birthday, or just before your birthday rather, that what do you want as a gift? Do you want a bicycle or do you want binoculars? So he has given you two options and you have to choose from that option. So the question that your father asks you, you are the listener, he is the speaker. He asks you and he gives you a choice, and you, the listener, you will convey, you will tell him your choice of option, whether it is a bicycle or a binocular for your birthday, right? So you are given two options and you need to choose from them any one, and that one option will be your answer. Similarly, if I ask you, do you like tea or coffee? You may answer with tea or you may answer with coffee. So you need to ask and you need to choose between the two options that are being provided to you. How is the weather? Humid or pleasant? Same answer. It can either be humid or it can be pleasant. So, alternative questions, remember, give you options to choose, and those options will be mentioned in the question itself. You just need to choose any one. You cannot choose both, and you cannot choose none. You have to choose one option. Now, coming to question tags. Now, these are very short questions, only verb plus subject added at the end of a declarative sentence. What is that? Just we'll come to it in a few moments. A comma separates the statement from the question tag. A speaker uses question tag when he or she wants the listener to confirm or contradict his or her statement. So, see the example. She is leaving the job, isn't she? Now, she is leaving the job in itself. If I put a full stop after a job, this sentence becomes a declarative sentence. It is declaring something, it is telling us a fact that some person is leaving the job. Now, when I add a question tag, see, isn't and she. So, isn't becomes my verb and she becomes my subject. It's a really very short question. Only verb isn't and she subject, which is added to the end of the declarative sentence. Just as you can see in the example, it is added just after leaving the job. Okay. Now, what is the use of a question tag? She is leaving the job, isn't she? Why do we need to add the question tag? We need to add it because we want confirmation whether it is true or not, or contradiction. If it is yes, then we expect the listener to say yes, she is leaving the job. If it is no, then we expect the listener to say no, she is not leaving the job. So, when we want to confirm something, then only we add a question tag at the end of the declarative sentence. So, you are not going to forgive him, are you? Again, see, you are not going to forgive him is a declarative statement, and I have added verb are plus subject you at the end of the declarative statement to make it into a question tag. So, question tag includes verb plus subject, which is added at the end of a declarative sentence and followed by a question mark. It is used to confirm or contradict a particular statement from a listener. The verb in the question tag. Now, children, this is very important. You have to remember two things. Number one, let us come to it step by step. See, the verb in the question tag is the same as the verb in the declarative sentence before it, but there is one difference. So, you see, the difference which is there is number one, if the verb in the declarative sentence is positive, then the verb in the question tag is negative. So, you were aware of the decision. Over here, my verb is were, W E R E, correct? I have also used the same verb in my question tag, were, but one thing which you will notice is the declarative sentence is a positive statement. We have just learned what a positive or an affirmative and negative sentences are. So, you were aware of the decision means you knew the decision. Okay. So, this sentence does not have any no or not or never in it, so it is not a negative statement, it is a positive statement. So when we have a positive statement or when we have a positive verb were, the question tag will always be a negative were, negative one. That is, you were aware of the decision, weren't you? I will take the same subject, I will take the same verb, but only thing, if the sentence is positive, I will add a not or nt, that is, I have used a contraction here. We will always have to use contraction, contracted forms of verbs in the question tag. So remember, point number 1, a positive statement will have a negative question tag, and point number 2 is a negative statement will have a positive question tag, which is just the opposite of point number 1. So see the statement, you were not aware of the decision, were you? So over here, my first sentence, the declarative sentence, is a negative sentence. You were not aware. I have used the word not. So if my sentence is negative, if my verb is negative, were not, you weren't, if I just contract the verb weren't, then I'm going to use were in the question tag. So the verb in the question tag, very important. Two things you need to remember: if it is a positive statement, a negative tag is used, and if it is a negative statement, a positive tag is used. The verb will remain the same, the subject will remain the same, only it's a difference between not and the verb. Now also remember that verb contractions are used as tags. That is, weren't you is used in the first sentence. We are not writing were not you, we are writing weren't you, right? And lastly, formation of exclamatory sentences. How to form exclamatory sentences? Children, we have already discussed that exclamatory sentences are those which show um, sudden joy, sudden expressions of surprise, shock, uh, sudden emotions are expressed, sudden feelings are expressed, right? So two common ways to form exclamatory sentences are: number one, by using what with a noun. So first we have to see how and where the noun comes in. So just see the example, what an experience. Now experience over here is an abstract noun. What a victory. Victory, again an abstract noun. So we are using what with nouns. What a beautiful diamond ring. This is a concrete noun, or you can say a common noun. Okay. So we use what with a noun, and secondly we use how with an adjective or an adverb. So how rudely she speaks. Rudely is the adverb of manner, and how careless you are. Careless is an adjective. So with noun we use what, with adjective and adverb we use how. So this is how you are supposed to form exclamatory sentences. So if I say it was a great experience, then we can change it into an exclamatory sentences by adding what at the beginning and then adding the noun at the end. And we always have to follow it up with the punctuation mark, that is the exclamation sign, right? So formation of exclamatory sentences from declarative sentences can be done by following these two rules. So that's it for this video. I hope you have understood, and we will meet again in the next video. Thank you for watching.